Hey everybody, it's me, Eric. I'm making a game. It's called the Godkiller. Sometimes I have to have my hands out like this, and sometimes I like to have them out like this. You know, either way. So people often ask me, they say to me, this happens all the time, they ask me this, how do you get such magnificent hair? Look at that. This is like such good hair. I mean, it's really, really good. And maybe you want hair like I've got. A lot of people do. A lot of people always ask me about it. So I'll tell you what you do. Okay? I mean, take notes if you want, but this is also a video, so you can rewind it and you can play it again to get the information. Okay. You clench all of your muscles. You go. Then you relax all your muscles. You do it again. You just keep doing that. You keep. Okay, you keep doing that. It's going to take at least an hour, and then one of two things is going to happen. You're going to shit your pants, or you'll open a door to an alternate dimension. It'll be very clear to you which one of the two things happened. Okay. If you shit your pants, just clean yourself up and try again tomorrow, okay? If it's a glowing, gleaming, perfectly square doorway, 4 foot wide, 4 foot long, okay? The doorknob right in the middle, okay? You reach forward, turn it, open it up, door opens. You will go inside there, you will travel through this multicolored tunnel. You'll arrive a small room, a modest room, decorated in late 80s office decor. There'll be a woman sitting at a desk, and she has a wise and ethereal demeanor to her. And you know this because of the way she talks. She'll say, welcome, you have traveled a great distance. What can I provide you? Okay, don't waste this. Do not waste this. You say, don't mess around, because you're not, it's like a one wish kind of deal. So you say, I want to have fantastic hair. And she'll say, oh, you mean long and thick, luxurious hair. And you say, nope, that's not what I want. I want it to be thin and patchy, okay? Just, oh, but evenly distributed. No, I said patchy. I said like it should just be kind of randomly applied to my head. That's what you tell her, okay? Oh, but it will all be on your head. And then you say, no, I want it to be kind of going down the back of my neck and other parts of my back in a very asymmetrical pattern, and also on my arms, all over my arms, and on the tops of my feet. And she'll say, oh, granted. And then you come back through the door and you look fantastic, just like this, okay? So that's it. That's all you gotta do. Also, I'm making a game. I think I mentioned that, but let's talk about that a little bit. I'm back from vacation, and I'm gonna move on to the demo portion of this stream, where I'll show you recent progress made. Progress made last night that I'm quite happy with. I'm going to show it to you, okay? I suppose I could hit the play button before I do this. I'm waiting for the spinny here. So things that are new here, basically, I got the ice, which was in a separate project, a vacation project. I took that ice and I moved it into the main game yesterday. I fixed some bugs having to do with these axles. being able to go over the top of other objects. So the data structures were not sufficient to track both the parts that make up the axle and spoke and the spikes and the ice that is beneath them. I say the data structures because I don't use the game objects as they're inside of the scene to represent logically the game. There's a separate set of data structures for that, which allow me to check for the consequences of different actions the player might perform. That alone makes it different than 90% of the Unity games that you see out there. Most games are they simply use the scene geometry and the triggers and colliders and everything to represent what's going on in the game world. But there's a second logical, simplified version of this game, which is like a bunch of grids stacked on top of each other, and you can say what is inside of the square at column X, row Y, height Z, or anyways. So I had to add some extra tracking of what is underneath of the spoke or the spikes, and after I did that, I was able to put the ice underneath it. I feel like I should demo the ice a little bit better. The other thing is that there's an outline being applied to all the objects now that's quite a bit different. I've got the thickness set up a little bit high. Let me adjust my demo a tiny bit. A problem I've got with this new shader, which I like quite a bit, is that it applies the same line weight no matter what. It applies it so right now I've got it set to 3 pixels, which is a great setting if the screen resolution is much higher than it is right now. But it's bad when I go to my lower resolution for broadcasting. So I do want to, at some point, make it so that it adjusts based on the resolution of the screen. So I'll show you what I mean. So you can see the viewport here is sized pretty small inside of the IDE, and these are the lines that are being drawn by the shader. If I shrink the screen down further, the line weight stays the same, even though the viewport is much, much smaller. So relative to the rest of the object, you've got lines that are too thick. If I go out this way, it starts to look okay. So that's one type of pretty easy adjustment I could make. The one that might be harder, well, I know it'll be harder. It might be impractically hard, I might not be able to do it, is to have the line weight also be dependent on how far it is away from the camera. So I would like a line like this, if you can see where I'm pointing with my mouse pointer. Here, let me go ahead and give this a little more real estate. So a line like this, I would like to start out about as thick as it is up at the top when it's very close to the camera, and then down here where it gets further away from the camera, I'd like it to shrink. I'm not going to work on that this session. That feels like too much to bite off for this session. Okay, so I did adjust the line weight a little bit. I'll demo again with that in a moment. Let me also expand the ice a little bit, because I think for people who haven't seen it, it's kind of neat. Okay, so the ice is auto tiling. there are 32 possible tiles, and they're combined together to make a shape that is pleasing to some, pleasing to me. But basically those tiles stand ready to represent any shape that can be devised in a grid. So I don't have to level design around the limitations of my tiles. I don't have to spend any time picking the correct tile to represent the ice. Just drop them down. I had to spend, maybe 3 hours writing the auto tiling code, but it'll get paid back real easily with all the hundreds of levels I have to design and all the thousands or tens of thousands of ice tiles I've got to lay down. So ice, the way it works is when you step on one end of it, you immediately are put on the other end. So it's a little bit like a teleport in some ways, because it's not like there's an animation where you slowly slide across the ice. You're just instantly on the other side of it. Alright, that's probably enough ice. Maybe I'll throw... Nah, okay, that's good. I'm not here to demo all day. Let's restart this demo. Show it one more time before I move on to the work portion of the stream, where I actually do work on the game, where I set a goal for myself and then, with some amount of luck, achieve that goal. Spinny, spinny, spinny. Okay. So the line weight looks a little bit better now. Again, there are refinements I'd like to make to it. There is one case I'm wondering about. I don't think I've ever thought this through. I would be amazed if it worked. So I know what happens if I walk into a square occupied by a spoke. It pushes the spoke in a clockwise or counterclockwise rotation. But what if I slide onto it? I give this a 25% chance of working. Just stop me. That's not bad. It's actually a pretty reasonable way to handle it. And then when I pushed it and moved it out of the way, I continued sliding, which is good. Think about that. That might actually be the best way to handle it. What I was picturing that's maybe a little more fun is that you'd keep sliding all the way to the end and that the rotation would occur along with it. So that seems more fun in a visceral way. But from a puzzle perspective, though, I like it stopping it, because what that means is there can be puzzles where I say, okay, you have to set up some kind of obstacle over the ice to stop you from sliding all the way past somewhere you want to go. So let me set that up real quick. I'm going to play with it just a tiny bit. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so let me see. So if this is here, it allows me to stop here. I'm doing something besides demoing here. I'm actually proving to myself that this is a a good behavior as it stands now. So it's not a completely self-indulgent waste of time. Alright, so the wall, we're going to drop it here. Okay, so let's say you want to get inside this little spot. So I'll put a little bonus down there. That's the goal. Yeah, I think this is gonna work. So we go. Okay, take this ice. We'll bring the ice out further. Oops. Cannot do that way. Okay. All right. So as it stands, you don't have a way to get into this little chamber. Alright, so let me play that. Let me see if it works the way I think it will work. So you're trying to get that box, right? And the ice thwarts you. It just makes you slide all the way past. And maybe you could get to it by sliding all the way north, but there's no way to get on that column that would allow you to move all the way in that direction. So if the ice stops short of coming all the way to this southern wall here, you would just step in this square and you would go north and slide all the way in. The spikes are in the way, but You could, in theory, move that. Okay. Oh. I have to edit this puzzle a little bit, though, because you need a way to push the wall, too. Or push the spoke. But it's still here. It's still here. Okay, go over here. Okay, now I can get it. I like it. I think that's pretty fun. Okay, so I don't feel as bad now about making the spokes block your movement on the ice. Although it might be in a visceral way more fun to slide all the way through and have the spokes rotate in response, having it stop it is actually better from the standpoint of constructing interesting puzzles. Alright, so I gave you a pretty generous demo there, and it's alright, you deserve it. Here's what I want to do in this session. I want to fix one bug with the eggs that's been irritating me for a while. The egg is this thing that's north of me. It's where you are reborn when you die. I won't commit to doing more than fixing that bug, because that bug might take me hours. But if I finish it relatively quickly, then I'll pick a stretch goal for this session. It could be creating a particle effect for when you're born. It could be adding some more modeling detail to the egg, but I won't commit to that yet. I want to first fix this bug. I'm trying in general to be more disciplined about fixing bugs before moving on to new features or improvements. But I'm telling you, this is just fun. This is fun. Alright, enough of that. Enough of that. Can't play around with it all day. Yeah, it's a super long time to just stop playing. What was it doing with all that? Ooh, out of system memory. I think I'm gonna quit. It's not, my system's not actually out of memory. Because all kinds of things would be dying right now if that were the case. But let's save this and let's just exit. I think it's more like it ran out of space in the paging file for global illumination, which I set to be pretty large. Okay, so let's pull up this guy to the very front. Oh, see, there's the proper lighting. Huh. My demo was compromised by bad lighting. Oh well. Yeah. No, it actually looks quite a bit better now. The other thing that I did last night was I refined these roofs so that you can not walk into them. I just gave them different colliders. So normally, if something is only 1 square tall, you can walk up onto it, and I didn't want that to happen with these. I wanted them to be very clearly non-traversable areas. So I set them up to have a collider which causes them to be obstacles. And it might seem to close listeners that I contradicted myself, because earlier I said that I don't use the game objects in the scene to determine like how movement works. I don't do it at playtime. I do it at edit time. I do a depth scan over the whole level and just check where everything is, and then I put that inside of a file that is read in when the level loads, and it gets converted into the board, which is the game-specific data structure that's referred to for judging whether you can do things like move into a square or not. Okay, so the egg. The problem with the egg was that eventually I would get stuck. So let me see if I can just get a repo on it first. Generally, the first thing to do when fixing a bug is to be able to reproduce it. Go. And just to make it real fast, let's put it on each side so I can just kill myself immediately after respawning on these lovely, lovely spikes. Spikes are death. Oh, I'm waiting for that. We'll send what I call a divider message. So in the chat session, I've got a little divider line at the bottom. It seems maybe a little bit lame, but I leave my old chats up, and sometimes those chats are significantly old. I'm going to put that divider line there, and then I can look over kind of quickly and see if somebody has added something new. Which, if in all honesty, there are oftentimes days go by in the chats. Doesn't hurt my feelings or demoralize me or anything like that. It's no big deal. I'm here to work. This is not actually reproducing anything. It must be something else that reproduces it. Well, I'll turn that volume down because that's a lot of gonging. So the way it works is when you die, you go to either the last egg that you touched, or if you haven't touched an egg yet, the nearest egg to you. For enemies, when they die, they can't touch eggs, so they simply go to the nearest one. And it alternates, not alternates, it I don't know, round robins the selection of the egg exit that you go out through. So it was going north, east, south, west in clockwise fashion. I suspect the problem comes up when a bunch of enemies are killed together, so I'm going to try contriving that. Let me see. Okay, so I can kill all 5 of these at once. There is like a special case where an egg can't respawn everybody at one time, and it has to in queue. Enemies that are waiting to be, or creatures that are waiting to be respawned. That might be the case that produces error. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, here goes. I think I've got a repo. Well, first thing is they were created inside the doorway instead of outside like I am. I don't think I've ever Okay, now I'm screwed up. Got some kind of repo. Let me see if I can simplify the situation though, and maybe get to it a little bit faster. Also, I can turn off the maximize on play. Okay. So if I got it with 4 dying at once, could I just get it with 2? Because that would be useful to know. Also, assertions. Looks like there might have been. Yeah. There we go. There's an assertion here. Let's take a look at that. In Writer, my new favorite IDE, JetBrains Writer. $131. Okay. Okay, I think I'm getting it now. Okay, so in some case, it tries to add the spawnee, the birthee, add an exit square. That was already taken up by something else. See, okay, let me see if this happens with just 2. That I don't know when that assertion came. It might have came later, or the assertion failure. It may have came later. thought I hit this, but apparently I did not. Okay. So he did not walk out. I don't understand that part. I don't understand that. They're... Yeah, that's weird. Now that looked more like what I expected. No, he's stuck there in the exit. Like if I die, I walk out. If they die, they don't walk out. When I say walk out, I mean my player character takes one step outside of the exit. Whereas when they die, they don't take one step outside. Okay, where's that guy at? Now he's just totally disappeared. Probably because it tried to put them in the same... Okay, yeah, okay. I've got a repo. Okay. Stupid maximize on play wasn't set, so I couldn't tell. It probably is that same assertion waiting for me, but I can't tell when it occurred, so I may need to hit play again. Yeah. Stupid thing. Alright, same place. Let me see if I can get it right on the first one. Okay. So I don't get the assertion immediately. It is interesting. It seems that it's only going to spawn one enemy per turn. I probably coded it that way. I can't remember now. These guys, they're not taking that step out. That's one problem. So if he's not taking the step out, my theory is the assertion will come when the next exit position is going to be where the other one already is at. There, yeah, okay, I was right about that. Now I know the assertion thing. So there's really at least two problems here. One is that the dudes don't walk out. Okay. Like I do. When I die, I will walk. Oh, except I've got that same problem. Okay. But no, when I die, I end up walking out one step. And there was a reason why I made it that way. There's two reasons. One is that it would show a stepping animation, that you would step out of the egg. The second one was that it's an elegant way to clear whatever may be blocking the exit in the square just outside the exit. Because if it's something pushable, the creature walking out will just push it. And that might cause whatever got pushed to die, but then it just goes back to the spawner, and on the next turn it will spawn. So I feel okay. The second problem, first problem was the creatures don't step out. The second problem is that if one of them is inside of the exit, it's not detected as blocked, and it should be. And I'd rather fix the second problem before the first, because it's possible there'll be situations where the spawn creatures legitimately cannot step outside the egg. For example, an axle spoke is pushed against it. I would like for them not to attempt spawning if there's not a clear spot. And since them not walking out generates that condition, it's useful for me to correct the second problem first, while the first problem conveniently simulates a contrived situation. So let me fix the problem of these guys failing to detect when one of the exits is blocked. Maybe I can just see the problem right here though without necessarily debugging. Okay. Hold on. Let's just take this guy. Just move it here just so I know what the coordinate system is. Okay. It's going to be that 20. That's weird. Oh, because it's in the level. Okay. So the floor is at -1, 9, 16. That's the center of this whole thing. -1, negative. Okay. This one. Yeah, okay. So the egg is centered. Oops. Unity is acting really strange. I think I'm going to turn off the baking, because what I just did is I moved one game object 2 squares to the left accidentally, and I said no, that's not where I want it, and I hit Command Z to undo, and now I've got infinite spin. I think it may have something to do with the bake. It's terrible. Don't make me force quit. Come on. Okay. Ooh, thank you. Damn. What the fuck was that? Alright, let's turn off this auto-generate stuff. Which may or may not have been responsible. Okay, so I know the egg, its coordinates are going to be centered, and that will help me when I debug this. Okay. I just pushed them south, which killed them both, and now it's trying to find out where are we going to put them. Where are they going to be born from the egg? I'm in the egg piece. I want to know yeah, just go down. Okay, so this 14, 19. Those are that's the number that matters. Okay. Just write this so I don't have to keep on thinking about it. Egg center at 14, 19. I think this is just a really simple, yeah, it's just going to update it from east to south. Yeah, okay. So is the exit open? Yes. CRD. It'll be 0, 1. 0 for horizontal, or west-east. Okay, 0, 1. Yep. Okay, the new CRH. It's gonna be 1420. Yep. Let's see. Okay, so at this point, I don't know that that square is unblocked. And I'm moving the piece there. That seems like my first problem. Okay, so that I think I can fix pretty easily. Okay, so this is the next thing. So the piece is now inside of the exit, and it wants to walk south, DR1, DC0. The question is, what's stopping it? This is the same code that the player checks. What's different for a brawler, which is the enemy character? I think it's going to take me into can move too. Oh, I love Rider. Like, I thought I wanted to not go into does wall. I wanted to go into can move to, and it's actually letting me pick the one that I want to go into. It's beautiful. I love Rider. Rider's awesome. Could not do that in Visual Studio. Just had to slog my way through the first function, step in, then step out of it, then step into the next one. Okay. This seems like I should be calling the isValid call row instead of performing this whole check, because I have a function that already does this. Well, okay, so I'm saying the O layer does not block. That's fine. That makes sense. There's nothing there. Okay. Okay, that one's fine. So it should be null. So this should return true. I can move to it. Okay. I can walk to it. This comment doesn't seem to be associated with the code that it's near. Feels like it should go up. Huh. So I didn't actually call the walk function. I explicitly said this. Oh, I think the walk will come later after this returns out of here. Okay, now I'm getting it. So this is a success condition if this is null, and we'll see if it is in a second. Because I have not changed the placement of the piece yet. Okay, will it be null? Should be. Okay, this sets it back. I should write some more comments at the top explaining what it's doing. I'm having to think too long and hard about this. Okay, so this sets it back to the original . Oh, huh. So this is not the egg center. This is the piece. And that's fine. So the piece got moved to the center of the egg, I believe, but let's check. This egg piece 14, 19. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so when the creature died, he was moved to the center of the egg at 14:19. Okay. And then I moved him without updating the board, kind of like trying out a move. This was helpful for checking this possibility of walking with the can walk to function. It's missing this check, but so far it's good. Did I move the piece to the exit, which should be at 14:20 after I apply the delta? Yes, it is. This is the assertion that'll fail when it's blocked. That's not the problem. Okay, now I'm updating the board itself. Instead of just the coordinates of the piece, I'm setting the board contents to be this creature. I'm saying the creature is now alive. Okay. This effect will cause the scene to show creature, and here's where something will not work, this walk function. Okay, is the guy stunned? He is stunned. Well, that's it. That's it. That's why he's not walking out. Because there's nothing to unstun him. The player gets unstunned. Okay. Got it. Got it. No, not that one. This one. Alright. Okay, let's fix some code. There we go. That'll fix that. That should allow him to walk. But I'm gonna leave this commented out so I can test this other problem. Find next birth direction. Okay. Piece should have CRH at center of egg. Function is calm. Okay, let's do something like That sound means that I've got some meat cooking downstairs that I'm going to have to manage a little bit. So I'll go down there in just a second. I want to finish my thought. But I'll also return pretty quickly after I do that, so don't worry. Get restored. Before our function exits. No changes to board squares are made. Okay, so that should fix one of the bugs. The other bug fix is just ready to be put in. So I'm gonna come back to here, hit play. Yeah, before I do that, okay, breakpoint set. And then it takes a little while for it to start up and play. So I figured I might as well go downstairs real quick and deal with the meat. I'll be back up in about a minute. All right, let's see how she does. So this is probably not going to do much different. Probably need to set up the case where it matters, but let's just make sure that the thing that was already working continues to work. So let's okay, it should be null. Good. Okay, that's all good. I'm gonna unbreak point that for now. Let it play. Okay. So now okay, the thing I want to contrive is that this guy will not be born here. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so that bug's fixed. Also, for whatever, okay. So now let me fix the second bug, which is that they were stunned after dying and were not allowed to be born because, or not able to move out of the exit square because they were still stunned. Okay. I don't need to say that. Come on. Okay, so this is already different. Immediately, the guy pops out one step from the square. I kind of don't know where the other one is, though. Oh, he's going to get born on the next turn. That's right. This is what I wanted. Yeah, it's pretty fun to fight these guys on the ice. Okay. Hey, Brady, what's going on? I noticed one bug. Let me group it with push warning and walking onto ice would push the creature. All guide in general should be ice aware. I think I got this one. I have not seen any bugs related to the egg birthing. Okay. Since I fixed that bug relatively quickly, I can move on to something else. Tips for programming Unity. Yeah. So many. So many. You won't even believe how many. Do you want one for any particular area of Unity? Like the just starting out type of thing, or common mistakes made that I wish I hadn't done, you know, when I started my project. Okay. Have you programmed before? Okay, you got a little bit of programming that you've done already, so you know maybe just a little bit, which is cool. So the main thing I'd say is pick a project that is a little bit more than what you've done before, but not a huge amount more. So, like, for example, if you've never made a game before, like a massively multiplayer online role-playing game, bad choice, right? You want to stretch yourself, you challenge yourself. If you pick something like really large, it's hard to make real progress. So as far as 3D RPGs go, some of the kits that are in the asset store are probably pretty good to start with, and then customize them, add things to them, change them. So yeah, unless you really wanted to focus on programming and being a better programmer, then maybe you don't want to do as much kit stuff. The nice thing about the kits is that, you know, you can get something that looks like a functioning game right away and modify it, you know, add a little bit to it. But if you wanted to focus on programming, if that was more your aim, than to make a game that looked really cool immediately, then I'd go even smaller. I'd pick something that you can write up from scratch without relying on an existing kit that has everything. So like by smaller, I mean like maybe it's not even that fun of a game. It's just a little exercise like Tetris or checkers or Flappy Bird, some arcade game from the 1980s. Shooters are a pretty decent choice. Not that you can't make a really amazing shooter, but yeah. But RPGs are cool. If you're not going with a kit, though, I guess it could be a little bit daunting, like all those extra screens that you have to create, like the inventory management, things like that. Alright, so I'm going to add the next part of this. I want a good particle effect that shows somebody coming out of this egg. And what I've got pictured is a very sudden effect, like there's a burst of energy in the shape of the door, just shooting out in whatever direction the creature is being birthed from. So I'm going to try to make that. The structure of this egg, I've got my exits. I'm working on it for about a year and a half. And then I've made games for a while. I haven't made that many, but I made some that were a lot of people played them, or maybe not a lot, but tens of thousands, not hundreds. Back in the 90s, there's a game called Drod, Deadly Rooms of Death. And it's actually a series of games, and I made those. This is my latest game. I haven't released a game in years, so I'm kind of getting back into it. And I enjoy making it a lot. Okay, let's see. So if I add a particle system, do a burst. Let's do 100. Okay. And shape. Box. Okay. Let's orient this so it's in the right location. I wanted to have it just shoot way out this way. Okay, go -0.5. Whoops. Why does undo take 5 years? There's something messed up there. I think it'll eventually undo, but there's something screwy. Maybe it's the debugger. Let me stop the debugger. Possibly that had something to do with it. Okay. The other thing I'm noticing is this is positioned in a weird way. Is there a way for me to offset this? Yeah, there is. Okay. Yeah, that's what I needed. Out of the way. Okay, now I got the box right there. This box defines the area that particles will be born inside of. I should also rotate it on the y-axis, I think. Try 80, 270. Now I lost all my particles. Oh, there we go. Okay. I always forget where to set it, but someplace there's going to be something where I can set the particle texture. Is it here? Is this it? Let me try it. Yeah, it's that one. All right. I can change that later. I would like to randomize the speed at which they travel so that they're not all big clustered group. Another thing that would be good is to stretch out the particles. Let me see what that looks like. Yes, that's something. Suddenly it moved it way off to the other side though. Put that back. Let's see what these other things do. Speed scale. I could add a trail. That might be what I'm after. Okay, let's try that. I don't see the trail. Where's my trail at? Oh, trails. Oh, there we go. There's a horrible trail. Okay, getting there. Getting there. My materials are not right, but that's fine for now. Not bad. Okay, speed it up a little bit. One, two. Yeah, ribbon. Yeah, I don't like it. Okay. Just want them to burst out and be done kind of quick. So maybe I need it to go a little bit faster. Okay. That's starting to look right. Let me move this whole thing to a better location for the effect to be witnessed. Move it out over here. This thing that I'm working on is basically your respawn point. And it's not just yours, but it's enemies too. So when you die or an enemy dies, they're born inside of the egg and they come out one of these exits. And the particle effect is supposed to draw attention to the event that you're born. Feels like maybe I've got too many particles. So let me bring this down a little bit. Let's do too few. Oh, actually, that doesn't look bad. Alright, say there was only one. That would look bad. It doesn't even look that bad. Okay, let's go back up. 10. Okay. So I think I just copy this onto all three of my exits. It's not bad. Gotta stop that. No loop. Let's see. Play on awake. No. Because I want to control it. Maybe this looks better with a shorter duration. Let me try that. don't know if the duration matters that much. Let's set the speed a little bit faster to start. Alright, so let's copy this to the other exits and orient it as appropriate. South, add component. Come down here and I can just paste my values. They are going to go off in the wrong direction. That's okay, I'll fix it. Then I want to fix all these so they go the right way. Okay. 2 down, 2 to go. Okay. And let's go. Last one. Do it. And yeah, stop back in later. Tell me what's up with that. Thanks for joining.
Now I'm feeling good. Now I think I might have something. Right here. Let's say new piece born effect. Direction. Okay, piece born effect. Okay, so I want to get the transform of the exit. Okay, that should be it. It might work the first time. Hard to say, usually doesn't, but quite possible. I give it 49% chance of working the first time. Well, what about just building? Is that going to work? Okay. Okay, let's move this out where I can see its effects a little bit better. I think out here is probably good. Maybe here. Save that. What is it doing? Okay. Kind of hard to tell what's going on because there's a lot happening. Especially when he gets killed immediately after coming out. At least it handled that situation okay. It looks right. There did not show the west one. It looks like the west one is not. Yeah, the west one isn't firing. So let us. this is probably going to be the last thing for the session too, because I'm close to finishing it. I don't think I want to bite off one more hunk of something to chew on. No console errors. Oh, well, this is the problem. Pretty simple. Okay. And I will make this less confusing by not having spikes right next to the place where you come out, which is a pretty solid level design choice. But even with that, I'll say that it handled it pretty well. I'm happy with how it handled it. It didn't screw anything up. Just it's kind of a weird level design choice. Okay, then there might be something there. Let's see. No, that was alright. Yeah, this is looking right. Wait, it's south firing. Yeah, he did that time. Let's see that again. Looks like there might be one bug. No, I think it's there, but when I fall off the edge, the delay in the camera moving back to my position is enough that you don't see the particle system come from the exit. Now I'm thinking about like what changes I might want to make to this thing, but I'm basically done for the session. For anyone who joined me, thank you. Brady, thanks. Good luck with the RPG stuff, and stopping the stream, stopping it, stopping it.